Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball information. We're powered by the galaxy's greatest website of all time. It's drroto.com. My name is Jay Heinrich, and I happen to be the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train at Dr. William Cannon on X. And ladies and gents, Broskis and Broskets, we've had ourselves quite a first week and first weekend of the NCAA Men's Tournament. Joining me, as you can see on your fine viewing devices, to chop it all up and break it all down, the man we call El Capitan around these parts, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, maybe a little bit of chalk, maybe a little chalky feel to it, but a few good moments. You know, how are you feeling about the first weekend of the tournament wrapping up?
Man, I'm feeling like this has been the longest week of my life because all I did was sit on the couch and watch hoops. But it was awesome, man. So right now I'm in the home league at home with my wife and two sons. My wife is currently in the lead, so that tells you about some of the upset picks that I made that did not come to fruition, man. But it's been a great week in the DFS world. A couple of takedowns, maybe a third one happening tonight in that smaller $44. Up over a comma and profits this weekend. So made 4 lineups into the Survivor and sitting in 4th right now. So we'll see how it finishes up, man. But it's been a fun week of watching hoops, and it's always fun when you win some money.
That helps, right? The green screens definitely help, and that's what we're all about around here. But today's not about DFS. Today is about the week that was in college basketball, and we're happy that you are here joining us on One and Done to, hopefully if you're watching live, you're going to hop in that live chat. I know we're going to get some of the OGs here.
Peanut Butter Posse's coming at some point.
Once in the end, yeah. We got, as we record right now, we got Michigan State up by 2 over New Mexico. About 8.5 minutes left in that one. All these, we got the last few games are all finishing up as we go live, but we're going to break down as much as we can that has already happened and maybe talk about some stuff as we get some results in as well. But Mike, first weekend, a quick reaction you wanted to give on anything before we really hop into what's been kind of, like I said, out the jump, kind of chalky?
Yeah, it was really chalky. We had some moments that could have happened, right? Like UC San Diego, they were right there. Alabama, Robert Morris was hanging in there for quite some time. And, yeah, it's just kind of weird. It's the first time we haven't seen a 13, 14, 15, 16 seed in the round of 32. And I forget what the stat was, but it's been a while. I think it said 16 years. McNeese and Drake were kind of the upsets, but a lot of people were, we were on – of the 3 mid-majors that were in the tournament, UC San Diego was the number 1 ranked on KenPom, followed by McNeese and then Drake. So, we're not counting Colorado State because they were actually favored to beat Memphis. And I feel like this is kind of happening because the mids this year, man, they didn't really have either an NBA star like a Curry, a Morant. Lehigh had McCollum. There weren't these dynamic perimeter players that weren't NBA guys that just really get the crowd going, like Jack Golke, what he did. Max Asmus, what he did when he was at Oral Roberts. Like those guys that the whole team in the stadium, it starts to feel right like they're gonna pull the upset, do the magic. The Princeton squad that beat your Arizona pick a couple of years ago, where they were just raining threes. It was kind of crazy, man. So a lot of the mid-major stars that we saw this year, Tate Jones, Ognosovich, Filovich, those guys are more back to the back, posting up, driving, right? And it's just tough it's easy in the mids when you're able to get to the basket, right? Because there's not, you typically don't deal with the size and athleticism that you see in the Power 4, Power 5 rankings. So it's hard to pressure the rim against those teams. It's a lot easier to do that in the mid-major ranks. So, and you also look at it has to do with the transfer portal, Jay, right? Like Walter Clayton, was at Iona a couple of years ago. John L. Davis was at FAU. Chaz Lanier was at North Florida last year. RJ Lewis a couple of years ago was at UMass. Danny Wolf last year in the upset over Auburn was at Yale. Janai Broom 3 years ago was at Moorhead. So, like, the transfer portal has allowed mid-major stars to move up, right? So we're not really seeing the star power that we used to see, at least in the last few years, man. So a lot of these teams also stylistically, they got tough opponents. Grand Canyon, tough draw against Maryland. Akron, the exact same team in Arizona, but with better athletes. So, yeah, a little tough. We always like to see an upset or two. I mean, we got the McNeese one, so I'm not complaining about that. But overall, I know, Jay, you like when there's not that many. At least not that many, as we're going to see some great basketball over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we are. For me, this time of the year, I want to see the best teams play against each other in the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. Like, even the NC State stuff last year, I'm just like, yeah, but
yeah,
nobody wanted to watch them play all season long. And then all of a sudden they catch lightning in a bottle and like, oh, now everybody wants – I can't wait to watch NC State. No, yeah, you didn't. You didn't. Yeah, it was it. And he was. I mean, that guy's fun to watch, but that's not exactly. Nobody was talking about him until they made that run in the Big East tournament. But listen, the McNeese thing. Okay, that was one that a lot of people were on board with. The McNeese win. I get that. Drake is a team that we really were all over here on One and Done. That was one that we were fairly confident about, but again, like, no 14s finding a way to trip up a three, no Lipscomb,
yeah,
that was my
no Yale,
and it was no Yale over the Aggies. Like, it was one of those things where we always want to look for some matchups that have that potential, and this year there weren't any to look at, and I think you hit it on the head, Mike. With the transfer portal currently set up the way that it is, we're going to see a lot more of the haves at this point in the tournament than the have-nots.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that it is. Is it possible for some team with a bunch of guys that, nobody over 6'8" to, find a way to slay Goliath? Yeah, of course, it's basketball, but we're going to see a lot more tournaments look like this in the coming years. And I think that's something that we have to be willing to take a look at and accept, unless there's something that's changed about the transfer portal and things like that. So, again, not a ton of upsets on this first weekend, but what would have been an upset is if Darren, he didn't show up in the live chat. You knew Darren was going to be there. And he wants his mention of UNT surviving and advancing in the old NIT. All right. Hey, do your thing. Do your thing over there in the NIT, Darren. Definitely appreciate you. Darren is always very active with us on the socials and here in the live chat. And he does that because he hit the like and subscribe button. You hit the subscribe button, you're able to hop in the live chat with us here. And even if you're not, hop in the comments afterwards if maybe you're watching on Monday morning, getting ready to go off to work, drinking your coffee, eating your Pop-Tarts or whatever it is that you like to have. Leave us a comment and let us know. But most importantly, hit the subscribe button over on YouTube. One and Done College Basketball is where you need to be on YouTube. We definitely appreciate if you watch us on Twitter. At One and Done CBB is where you can find us over there. At One and Done CBB on all the socials for that matter. Just follow them all. TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. That's right. We're there. We have a presence, do we? Well, anyways, follow us anyway. But most importantly, at One and Done CBB on Twitter for sure, and then hit those buttons on the old YouTube channel as well, and we would definitely appreciate it. You know what else we appreciate? We appreciate when the breadheads join us for something like a BracketBids challenge like we did the other night, Mike. You and I sat in with 6 breadheads and actually did our auction-style draft on BracketBids.com, and we got 40% off of our league activation fee by using the promo code BREAD over there. We like our friends over Ryan and our friends over there at BracketBids, and that was such a fun time. It was such an easy site to use. All of the different ways to track who your teams are, who everybody else's teams are. There's a chat over on the side. You can even voice chat. It gives you the ability to do that. So if you're hanging out with a bunch of buddies and you're doing your draft, over on BracketBids, you can just, let me hit this, and we can all just chat and polite trash talk. Of course, we're all gentlemen here and gentle ladies. But yeah, we upgraded our March and we got over to BracketBids.com, and some of us use the BracketBids app as well. So definitely something that I'm happy we were able to do this time around.
Can't wait for next year, man.
Yeah, next year is going to get one under your belt, and then you can improve every year as you go. So even if you haven't done it, go over there at BracketBids, create yourself an account, and check out what they're doing over there. Great stuff over there with our friends at BracketBids.com and the BracketBids app. Good stuff there. Round of 32, Mike. Let's move on from the 64 from the Nintendo 64 here to the What's your favorite N64 game, and why is it GoldenEye?
It's actually the cousin to GoldenEye. It's called Perfect Dark. I think I probably played 1,000 hours of that game. It's legitimately, it is GoldenEye, but with more weapons, more missions. Yeah, I'm either getting that.
Chad, I want to see what your favorite Nintendo 64 game is of all time. Super Smash Bros. Isaac is an absolutely classic choice there, for sure. WWF Warzone, also a solid pick there on the N64. Mario Kart, yeah, that's the classic. That's the go-to for sure. But we're not at 64 right now. We're at 32, and when we talk about those games here, I mean, some of the matchups that we were looking forward to: Houston and Gonzaga, BYU and Wisconsin, Arkansas and St. John. What a classic matchup that was. Some thoughts on the round of 32, Mike?
Yeah, Gonzaga had his chances, man. Just at the end of the day, like, Houston's just so tough, man. It was a great game. I thought that was one of the more underrated games of the weekend, honestly. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that game. The more thrilling games, obviously, were the BYU with the kind of letting Wisconsin back in after a weird Dawson Baker flagrant foul nut shot to kind of get Wisconsin back into the game. But it was the Richie Saunders show. He outdueled John Tanji, was phenomenal. That was just a great game. And then, man, this Rick Pitino situation, this bothers me because this actually happened a couple of times yesterday with the whole, we've seen it all over social media, right? The whole RJ Lewis, like, I think it was 3 for 17 or whatever. He sat the final 5 minutes of the game. Like, you just ride your guys to the end. Like, I don't understand why you do this. So, look, I was already off of St. John's because the effective field goal percentage, like, they were 262nd in the country. I actually look back since 2010. There's only been one team sub 200 to win the national championship. That was a North Carolina squad that was number 1 in offensive rebounding rate and 4th in defensive efficiency. So if you're not in the top 100 effective field goal percentage, you probably aren't winning at all. Texas A&M, another team, 315th. We saw them get bounced. Darren's in the chat saying Michigan State is having trouble right now. Yeah, the Michigan State's they're kind of on that bubble line, 150th. We did see a Duke squad, I think, in the 120s win it all, but some of the same metrics with offensive rebounding and defensive combination helping out there. So my problem is like, yeah, he's 3 for 17. Like, he's not having a great day shooting, but you ride with him to the end, man, because he's the Big East Player of the Year, and he's been your guy all season. Will Wade kind of did the same thing, frustrated me against this Purdue squad. Will Wade he was bringing guys that were DNP'd for 5 straight games. Like, what do you like? Why in the first half? Like, it's still a game. You're within 18. I don't know, man. But this whole thing, I mean, we've talked about this, Jay, about in football, right? Quinn Ewers and, like, just I don't agree with. If those are your guys, man. So this is what it is, man. Any thoughts on that whole situation and see anything else from the Saturday?
When he was asked about it in the post game, and he goes, "You know why he didn't play?" No, man, I don't know why he didn't play.
Yeah.
Like, I know that he stunk up to that point. He would tell you that he stunk up to that point. He himself would tell you. Like, Lewis would look at you and say, "I was not very good." But you also don't expect your coach to take you out and start second guessing everything that got you there.
Yep.
And I'm a big proponent of dancing with the ones that brought you, and that's one of those that they'll look back on, and just again, would it have mattered? Would he have gone 4 for 28? I don't know, but I don't like not sticking with your guys. I'm gonna agree with you
defensively. He's 6'8" on the wing. Like, you're telling me like he can drive to the basket and create contact too. Like, you have Leptopoulos or whatever his name is. That guy played maybe 100 minutes all season. Why is he in the game? This is not like a 20-point blowout. It was, I don't know, kind of weird, man. But yeah, those were kind of my thoughts from the first round.
Yeah, not a ton of craziness. The madness was definitely limited there. The live chat is on fire. Unsurprisingly, the liveliest live chat in all of college basketball. And when Auburn is doing hot, Sam the Sniper's popping up. Auburn family stand up, Sweet 16, yes sir. Congrats to Sam the Sniper and all of the Tigers out there in Auburn country. Did you hear Richie Saunders' grandfather created tater tots?
Yeah, I heard
that on the broadcast. How about that? Do 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 do. The more you know. Darren saying Coach Beard's a hell of a coach. Listen, yeah, I know. And Mike does too, unfortunately. The year and a half, not even, that he spent up the road from me, I drive by the home arena every day on my way to work and pass it again on my way back home, where Chris Beard should be leading a Texas Longhorn team to the Final Four every single year. Alas, some decisions were made, and Ole Miss is the beneficiary of Chris Beard. Josh, man, I love Josh. Josh is the ball knower. Teams who still play 1977 ball are so annoying. Post-ups and wasted possessions. What Alabama's doing with the NBA scheme, the threes and layups. Hey.
Yeah, but some programs have to play that way to compete, man. Like, that's what's
fun about
college basketball.
This is St. Mary's, man. Like, and I get it. Like, the tempo, he just wanted this literal, like, rock fight every night to try to beat them. And that's his style, right? Like, it just is.
You can't fault Coach Bennett. He's like the top 5 winningest coaches over the last 25 years or whatever. So
yeah, and he also let me and Mike interview him, so he's a cool guy. So after you watch all this right now, go back and do our coach interviews. You'll also see Mark Pope over there when he was in BYU, when he was over hanging out in BYU. We talked to him too. So I mean, what do you know? Riley over there at Washington State now, we talked to him when he was at Eastern Washington. Maybe the one and done bump. And no, Darren, I don't see the NIT banner on the way to work, because if I did, I would just drive by it like this when I pass it this way, and then I'll do it like this again. That NIT banner. Anyways, he knows. See, Darren knows how to get under my skin, and it's talking about NIT banners. But let's not do that. Let's talk about today, and we're talking about Sunday stuff, Mike. We finally got our first official buzzer beater of the year. Apologies to Amar Knox, who, of course, hit that one in the first 4. It was still like a second left, technically. So Derek Queen getting our first buzzer beater. That'll show up on One Shining Moment there for sure. And then Florida held off UConn. Hurley was cussing in the tunnel underneath, and cussing in the post, in the presser, and cussing at everybody and blaming everybody but himself, and it's everybody else's fault and whatever.
And then he's crying like about how much everybody means to him.
Yeah, it's a range of emotions there, and the players love him, and there's no doubt about that. But it is what it is for UConn there. Duke putting some egg on my face and absolutely blasting Mike's Baylor Bears in a game that I sure did think was, maybe even if Baylor didn't find a way to win that one, I thought that was going to be competitive. And Duke is just. Oh. Speaking of getting mollywopped, and speaking of Chris Beard here, Ole Miss handling their business, and Chris Beard's team finding their way over to the Sweet 16. I don't know, man. Like, this is just Iowa State's injuries and the way that they finished
Yeah.
the season, like they earned that 3 seed. They really did earn that seed. But if you looked at it up and down, like they were a team that's just like I didn't feel like they had what it took to make a deep run. And I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on Sunday's action? Obviously, New Mexico and Michigan State. Michigan State is up by 7 with 2 minutes left as we speak. Arizona and Oregon happening right now. It's halftime. Arizona's up 4. What are your thoughts on the Sunday action here, the first weekend of the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Colorado did everything right. Like, beautiful play from Clifford to hit Jalen Lake to take the 1-point lead with 6 seconds left. At the end of the day, like, they just didn't have anybody to guard Derek Queen. He's just such a versatile player. I was shocked by Iowa State just getting dismantled by Ole Miss. They couldn't figure out they had a size advantage. Like, you're starting like 3 guys that are 6'8" or taller, and Ole Miss is running out 4 guards and 1 guy that's 6'8". So that whole deal was just kind of weird. I was kind of surprised that UConn was able to slow down Florida. And, yeah, I mean, the Baylor thing – it was never really a game. I mean, they kind of hung around 12, 14 points, but never felt like a game. And this is where you felt the effects of Josh Ajanwa and his injury, because they needed his size so bad. There were times when Norchad was out that Jalen Celestine was playing the 5. And they basically had 4 guards out there the entire time with Norchad, and he just racked up the fouls. It was too much with these guys, athleticism and flag driving and – as you hear the thunder happening down here. It's pouring down rain here. But, yeah, man, I just thought that, I was excited that we got the Colorado State-Maryland ending. I'm excited, though, for the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, man, because we're going to get a bunch of really good matchups that sometimes we get robbed of when we do get major upsets. So looking forward to that part, man.
These are the matchups that we want to see for sure. Yeah, Duke did not forget that they had a size advantage in that one. Baylor just couldn't get it done there for sure, Josh. Hit those like and subscribe buttons for us. Hop in the live chat. Let us know what you're thinking about the weekend's happenings for sure. We would love to hear from the one and done universe. So you got to push all those buttons to do that. Hit the like and subscribe button. We've had so many new subs over the past few weeks. And we definitely appreciate all the new breadheads hopping on to hang out with us here. We're doing this 365. I mean, Mike is going to have his top, 500 probably it's going to end up being on the portal. Yeah. Top 500 on the portal entries. I mean, like over at drroto.com, you're not going to want to miss that. We're going to be here talking stuff year-round like we have been doing for the last 3 or so years. So push all those buttons. And make sure you push the notification bell so you don't miss anything that we're doing. We got some DFS stuff coming up too. Mike was talking about how he's having a nice weekend in those DFS streets. And we've got some more coming up here. We're probably going to come at you Tuesday night for the Thursday slate to let that marinate for a little bit. So make sure that you hit that notification bell so you can get those lineups set for the second weekend of the tournament. 1,456 subs right now. Let's get a few up. Let's boost those numbers up. Let's boost those numbers for sure. Okay, Josh, 4 guards don't work unless you're Jay Wright. Okay, Mr. Villanova avatar there. We get it. Okay. My man. All right, let's go to the Sweet 16. Why don't you? Sweet 16 matchups. Thursday, we've got BYU and Alabama. BYU's only lost since February 8th is against Houston. I've been singing their praises. I sung it in the first round. I know VCU was a popular upset pick, and I was very confident that BYU would find a way to get past them. And they haven't snuck into the they've earned their way into the Sweet 16 here just to face an Alabama team that's advancing to the Sweet 16, I think, for the 3rd straight year. Doing big things over there. And then, of course, Maryland versus Florida, and then Arkansas and Texas Tech currently slated for Thursday. Some reactions for those matchups, Mike. And again, like you said, having a 10-seed Arkansas is far from, having some little, David versus Goliath matchup here. These are the big names we want to see, and Thursday is going to really set the tone for what should be a fantastic second weekend of the tournament.
Yeah, I love this, man. I'm excited about this. Obviously, we still have 2 more matchups to come, depending on who wins these last 2 games tonight. So yes, this is obviously a quick look at it. I think this Alabama BYU game is going to be fantastic for watching because they're going to run up and down. They're going to jack up a bunch of threes. That is going to be kind of similar to the Wisconsin game, right? But just faster with Alabama moving at the number one tempo. Maryland and Florida. This is I'm a little nervous about this one as a supporter of Florida winning the national championship because Derek Queen, man, he's just a stud. They have the shooting to go around him. Julian Reese is obviously a beast in the middle. Florida's got everything. They made some tough shots to beat UConn. So I'll be looking forward to that matchup. And can Coach Cal keep it going, man? Texas Tech, it was too much. The way you beat Drake, and I was talking to Doc on the Fantasy Sports Channel this weekend. I was like, the way you beat Drake is you have to have a bigger wing that can play make. Those are the 3 losses they had were all against teams that had a big wing that can play make. And guess what? Darren Williams was pretty good in that game. And then, by the way, you had JT Toppin. He's pretty good as well. So Toppin's going to have some bigger guys to play against in Brazil and Adu and Ivicic. So this is going to be a fantastic matchup. Boogie Fland is back. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be awesome.
How about the Friday matchups that we have locked in right now? Kentucky and Tennessee, an SEC battle there in the Sweet 16. Then you got Purdue and Houston in a total of a projected total right now of 135, which of course, especially with Houston involved, you sort of knew that was going to be the least exciting in terms of points scored. But to end the current slate, Michigan and Auburn. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. All these, again, you talked about it right there. Josh said Arkansas is the only double-digit seed left. And, the Friday matchups, like nobody being underneath the 5 seed right now. I mean, we've got – these are the teams that we've talked about all season long, playing the best basketball in the entire country. And we've seen this Kentucky-Tennessee matchup before a couple of times. And so, kind of got a little bit to look at there. But what are your initial thoughts on the Friday matchups that we know so far?
Yeah, we're getting an SEC matchup between Kentucky and Tennessee. I don't love this for Kentucky just because they're so offensive, oriented. Chaz Lanier can go off for 30 in this spot. So it's probably my least favorite. I'm interested to see what Braden Smith can do against Houston. I don't know, man. Like, obviously, they're 7-point dogs on KenPom. Houston just so physical. Can they get anything from somebody outside of Braden Smith and TKR? Like, can Lawyer give them something and First give them something? Like, they're going to need it all for their role players. And then that, like you said, Jay, Michigan double big against Broome and Cardwell and those guys. I just think Auburn's guards are just that much better and they take care of the ball. Michigan loves to get the ball to the other team, which I think will create easy transition buckets for Auburn. So, Darren saying Michigan bigs versus Broome. Yeah, that's going to be – so that's what I'm saying. We're getting premium matchups, and this is awesome.
Kentucky has played Tennessee twice before and won both of those matchups this year at Tennessee and at home. This Tennessee team right now, though, that style in this, they're capable of beating anybody. And Mike, one of your favorite things to talk about at this time of the year too is if you're in the Sweet 16, you've got as good a chance. If you made it, man, it's let it fall where it may at this point, and anybody can really beat anybody, especially with the quality of teams we're looking at now. So I love it. I love these matchups. I love that we're getting to see that. Michigan State has officially advanced now. So we're going to have – where are we at? Yep. Michigan State and Ole Miss, of course. Initial thoughts real quickly before we move on?
Yeah, that's going to be – best backcourt is going to win in this one because they're both heavily featured. I mean, there's not really any front court players. If Dia plays like he played today, then I like Ole Miss. But, Michigan State, they're bigs. They don't get any credit like Jackson Kohler. He just goes out and does work, man. So, I like Jace Richardson and Michigan State against Ole Miss there. But another fantastic matchup we're going to get to see.
I'm really hoping we see Auburn and Michigan State in that in that Elite Eight matchup, man. I'm hoping we do, but either way, like Michigan and Michigan State wouldn't be too bad to see for the storyline purpose. You love a good narrative, love a good trip down narrative street, of course, over there. So, loving it, and we love how everybody's keeping the live chat rolling as well there, Josh and Darren. Yeah, Papa Patino is indeed in attendance, or was in the building there. And I found a way to make it over for his boy. Yeah, that's true. Very good. All right, good stuff there. Anything else happening live? Make sure you let us know about it in the live chat. We want to make sure that we cover not just the tournament today, but the coaching carousel real fast. I mean, 5 moves already of note, Mike. Sean Miller, of course, today, Sunday, as we're recording live, the news comes out that he was hired by the University of Texas, and Chris Del Conte over there, the athletic director. Coach DeVries from West Virginia, leaving West Virginia, Mountain Mama, to Indiana, taking the Indiana job. What a great hire for them. And, of course, when his son entered the transfer portal, I gave you my CM Punk shock gift, I should say. But then Ben McCollum obviously leaving Drake and going to Iowa. Will Wade, we knew that one was coming already, to NC State in a match made in heaven. And Ryan Odom leaving VCU to go to Virginia. What are your thoughts on the current state of the coaching carousel, Mike?
Yeah, and we're projecting McCollum. Like it's kind of weird right now, right? Like earlier today, it was like, it's reported Sean Miller's going to Texas, and then there were reporting refutes of like the deal's not finalized, but then later it gets finalized. McCollum's kind of in the same situation where it's like we expect him, kind of like it was with Miami and Jai Lucas. It was like, okay, he's going, but then is it? So right now, this is what we have. For me, Sean Miller, like I guess to me, it's just like a slightly better version of Ronnie Terry with a more fun offense. So I don't know. To me, it's not. It doesn't.
Listen, your initial when it got dropped in the live chat. I mean, the live chat, the group chat. Your immediate unimpressed response to me. I didn't expect your thoughts to immediately, like, I don't know. I just felt like you would think it would. I thought I liked it. I think it's somebody with experience that's won at a high level, right? But I know that he comes with his ups and downs as well. But immediately, you really didn't feel like it was that big of an upgrade. And my thought, Mike, is obviously coaches with Power 5 experience and winning at a high level, it matters when you take the Texas job. It just does. Like, and Rodney Terry didn't have that, that high level coaching experience. And he took a Final Four team to the Elite Eight that year after Chris Beard left. So I mean, that's just how my thoughts on that. I was a little bit more optimistic about the hire than you were for Texas there. But again, with Will Wade going to NC State, I wanted to ask you about that one before we hit some transfer portal stuff and got out of here, man. The Will Wade move to NC State. I think the NC State fans and Will Wade, like, that is just like instant. That's like peanut butter and jelly right there, man. What do you think of Will Wade making the jump there? NC State getting themselves obviously a very, very good coach.
Yeah, I think it's I was kind of surprised Will Wade didn't land somewhere else. I don't know. It seems weird. Like North Carolina State, it's just kind of one of those jobs, right? But maybe that's a better fit for him. Yeah, I think my initial reaction to it is that you're going into an ACC that is just coming off a really down year where you just watched, Louisville and Clemson get destroyed in the first round. Duke is their first time, I think, and somebody said like something 50 years or something on the broadcast that the ACC only had one team advance past the first round. So, I think it's a great hire. I think he should go there and immediately win. He's a winner, man. Like, so, yeah, maybe this isn't another stepping stone, right? Because the NC State job, but they signed him for 6 years, right? So it'd be tough to get him out of there in the first couple of years. So he's going to be there for a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a great hire for NC State. I think that his upside is unlimited, man, like with better access to better athletes, right? I'm assuming he's got some NIL behind him, but going there, I don't think he would go there without some type of NIL assurances. So yeah, I think it's a smash hire for NC State with a lot of upside. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one. I mean, Ben McCollum's gonna, if he ends up with Iowa, it's gonna be an entirely different look. Ryan Odom, we're gonna get more of the same, man. Like the Virginia program's just never gonna get up and down. I guess they're just gonna, they're bringing in one of the best defensive minds in sports. So just kind of is what it is with that one. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see what these guys do at their new spots.
Well, I got used to saying that Iowa's basketball did not represent Iowa, did not duplicate the slow, methodical Iowa football. And now, if Ben McCollum, if that deal is set, it definitely will look a lot more of the defensive-minded, low-scoring stuff that the Iowa football team puts out there. The basketball team will reflect their coach as well. Hey, listen, Sean Miller I don't know if he's related to Paul Bear. I'll have to call the Undertaker. He lives over here in Austin. So Sean Miller goes, oh yes. The little Paul Bear there. I don't know, Darren. We'll see. They don't have the Longhorn Network anymore either, Darren. We know that. It's the SEC Network now. I was watching Longhorn baseball on the SEC Network the last 2 nights. Okay, there's no Longhorn Network anymore. And if Miller's ceiling is the Elite Eight, as a Longhorn fan, if I feel like they can get to the second weekend of the tournament every year, I would honestly feel like it's as a Longhorn fan, what have we been dealing with over the past? The Chris Beard letdown to me is just such a gut punch, and watching Ole Miss now advance to the second weekend of the tournament, like, yeah. So, anyways, good stuff there, Darren. Thanks for getting me going and getting me on a tangent about how Longhorn basketball deserves a winning coach. Come on, man. Quite all right. Good stuff. Keep the live chat rolling as we move on to some transfer portal news here. Mike, you've been tracking this since jump. Everybody's getting in, and you're ranking them as they pop in there. An early top 5 for you here. Dean Thomas of UNLV. Obviously, Tucker DeVries from West Virginia. That's
Where's he going?
There's not really a big mystery there to where he will be. Not as much of a mystery as some of these other ones, though, at least. Bryce Hopkins leaving Providence. Josh Dix, the guard, leaving Iowa. And then Owen Freeman also leaving Iowa. So we got an exodus movement of job people. Oh, yeah, leaving Iowa there. So what are your thoughts on your early top 5 right now in the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think I got my big board up to 50 players. I was working on it a little bit today. Dean Thomas is going to be my number 1 player right now. Just a dynamic point guard out of the Mountain West with UNLV. He's put up really good numbers in his first 2 years. I definitely think he's going to be an X factor, when he lands with a Power 4, Power 5 program. DeVries, obviously, we know where he's going. His experience and versatility is going to be huge for Dad there at Indiana. So we know what it is, and we've seen it. Some questions on whether he can get it done in the Big 12. We saw him in limited action in the Big 12. Yeah, he can still get it done. He's a great player. Bryce Hopkins, unfortunately, it's time for a new look, man. Just all the injuries that he's dealt with. If he can be 80% of the player that he was, that is going to be really, really good for a team next year. And then you got the 2 Iowa guys, man. Josh Dix, he can really score the basketball. Owen Freeman, more of your productive big, right? Some concerns defensively, but he's someone that can, obviously get on the glass for you. He can do some things offensively, man. So we're gonna have a ton of names. Our transfer portal shows they do a lot of numbers. We're on 2-3 times a week during the off season, trying to keep up with this stuff, and that allows us to be good in DFS and. We're going to bring you guys all this content, speaking with coaches and things like that, man. So that's the early top 5, man. But, a couple of weeks from now, it'll be guys that enter in and be like, oh, that's a top 5 guy. Oh, that's a top 5 guy. Oh, that's a top 5 guy. So here we go.
No doubt about it. And that's why you want to be locked into one and done, hit all those buttons so you don't miss anything that we're doing. We're covering this stuff year round. Transfer portal, tournament time, non-con, Maui Invitational, whatever you want to call it, we're there. We're covering it all. And that's why you should be hanging out with us here on One and Done. Even if you don't want to hang out with Darren, constantly razzing me about the Longhorns and now telling me that I'm settling with mediocrity. Okay, now listen. I'm just trying to see some good basketball, some better basketball. Okay, listen. Before we get out of here, Mike, I wanted to make a point, and I forgot to do it earlier. The Will Wade's next job will be the big job, right? Like, it's almost like he's got to, okay, you did it at McNeese, now go do it at NC State, and then you do a couple. It's not going to take if in 2 years he's got them in the tournament twice, like. He's getting that next big job right there. So I'm not too concerned about Will Wade right now in that job, and I don't think anybody should be either. So make sure you hop in the chat. Let us know if you think Will Wade is going to be the next coach at your alma mater. Oh, okay. See, there we go. That's the take I'm looking for right there. Will Wade, the Longhorns' next coach. Next coach, of course. Right. Did you see who that was, Mike? That was Eric the Blue at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets, pushing the buttons behind the scenes tonight, getting you those graphics and those nice slides you see right there on your screen. Follow him for all the best fantasy info under the sun. And then, of course, don't forget about our guy, the Hall of Famer, CC Hustle at the Real Napier. Just got back from Mexico, I think, wherever he was, like living his best life. Shout out to Nape, and shout out to everybody that took some time to hang out with us right here on One and Done for our recap show, recapping the first weekend of the big old thing they call the dance. We definitely, chalky chalk, right?
Let's go.
I'm in on it for these matches we did in the second weekend, Mike. It's going to be good to watch. As we're signing off here, Arizona's up 7 with 13 minutes left to go, and it honestly does not matter to me which one of these teams win, because the buzzsaw that is Duke looks fairly unstoppable at this point. The only thing that could maybe make a difference against Duke is if we get God mode Caleb Love. We'll see if that happens for sure. Yeah, NC State could be a stepping stone. Darren, I think it is.
Kind of like West Virginia.
In the case of West Virginia, exactly like West Virginia. Yeah, you're picking up what we're putting down. Shout out to you too, Darren. Shout out to everybody that hopped in the live chat with us tonight. Definitely good to see Josh Gillum hanging out with his Nova avatar there, his Nova profile pic there. Sam the Sniper. Shout out to Auburn. War Damn Eagle, appreciate you, man. Appreciate my guy El Capitan, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland, for sharing his insight, all of his knowledge about the world of college basketball. Push all those buttons. Follow us at One and Done CBB on all the socials, and follow me at Dr. William Cannon, because I am the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. Don't go too far. Push notification bells so you don't miss anything that we're doing. Probably coming to you live on a Tuesday for a Thursday DFS slate. Don't miss it. Tell somebody that you love them. Take care of yourselves. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. We'll see you.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.